Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we are, living in America, and what can I say? It is what it is.
Late night, late night, late night, late night conversation. Hey, yo, Marines, what you doing? Late night conversations, they all overdue. Late night, sitting here reminiscing, need to get over you. I need too much on my mind, my demons active too. Way too much. Overwhelmed by my life, I pray I make it through. I pray. Late night conversations, they all overdue. Sitting here reminiscing, need to get over you. Too much on my mind, my demons active too. Overwhelmed by my life, I pray I make it through. Remember all the nights you was born on my phone. Call it hella time like your ass don't know. Baby, you was tripping, you were really out the door. Then had some nerves to be pulling out my door. Hit a 360, now your ass is really gone. Laughing at your ass, cause your ass is really broke. No money, I was down bad when your ass really left. Now I'm to the top, cause a nigga getting bread. Like conversations, they don't overdue. Late night, sitting here reminiscing, need to get over you. I need too much on my mind, my demons active too. Overwhelmed by my life, I pray I make it through. I pray. Late night conversations, they all overdue. Sitting here reminiscing, need to get over you. Too much on my mind, my demons active too. Overwhelmed by my life, I pray I make it through. I pray I make it through. I ain't been feeling highs the ceiling. Truth has no meaning. Eyes are deceiving. Don't tell me you need me. You never believe me. I wish I could see you. You don't wanna see me. The music can free me. I'll be on TV. I hope you see me. I know you like PT. Please love the better me. Or at least just remember me. And fuck the late night conversation, they all overdue. Late night conversations, they all overdue. Late night, sitting here reminiscing, need to get over you. I need too much on my mind, my demons active too. Overwhelmed by my life, I pray I make it through. Late night conversations, they all overdue. Sitting here reminiscing, need to get over you. Too much on my mind, my demons active too. Overwhelmed by my life, I pray I make it through. We better now, yeah, we on our top journey. We ain't got no worries, they still got blurry vision.
Late night conversations, they all overdue. Voice. Voice. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. This.
Helping families, strengthening their workforce, and supporting the communities where they operate. The Child Care Block Grant and private sector innovation should be partners in meeting the child care needs of America's workforce. The Block Grant helps ensure a supply of high-quality licensed providers that families can access. Employer investment can strengthen the stability of those providers and ease child care pressures across communities. We will discuss both of those dynamics today. At the same time, protecting the integrity of child care funding is essential because families depend on it. When bad actors exploit the system's scarce resources are diverted away from the parents and children these programs are meant to serve. The Child Care Block Grant, while vital, cannot shoulder the full burden of America's child care needs alone. It is part of a broader system that thrives when public funds are safeguarded and private innovation steps in to fill the gaps. Employers who invest in childcare are demonstrating what long-term commitment can look like. Not because government funding is guaranteed forever, but because supporting childcare strengthens their workforce, improves productivity, and fuels local economic growth. Their examples show what is possible when innovation and responsibility meet, and why we should not allow fraud or mismanagement to undermine solutions that working families urgently need. And with that, I'll turn to the ranking member for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses for being here today. This hearing is about an issue that's critical for children, for families, for employers, and for the economy. Too many families are struggling with high costs for groceries, utilities, healthcare. Childcare is a necessity for millions of American families, and in many places, including my home state of Oregon, the cost for childcare, when families can find it, can be as much as rent or mortgage payments. And although I welcome the focus on innovative approaches by private sector employers, I also want to be clear from the outset that employers alone are not solving America's childcare crisis, as the title of this hearing suggests. Playing a part, but not solving. Most employer-led solutions for childcare come in the form of tax credits for families to offset the cost of care. In Oregon, for example, businesses can receive a state tax credit for dependent care assistance to employees. Employer engagement plays an important role, but as Ms. Grover says in her testimony, Ms. Grover says in her testimony, child care is not a perk. It is workforce investment. And I agree and submit that we need a comprehensive solution to build and strengthen that infrastructure. Access to affordable, high-quality child care is an essential part of a functioning economy. Yet in many communities, childcare simply does not exist in sufficient supply. And as a direct result of that scarcity and unaffordability, our economy loses an estimated $122 billion in earnings, productivity, and revenue every year. This is not a personal failure on the part of parents or providers. It is a policy failure. When parents cannot find care, they reduce their hours, they turn down promotions, or they leave the workforce entirely. Women, particularly women of color, are disproportionately pushed out of the workforce because of challenges finding and paying for childcare. Employers lose experienced workers, small businesses lose customers, families have less income, and children miss out on the benefits of a stable, high-quality early learning environment that we know sets them up for lifelong success. At the same time, child care workers who do some of the most important work in our society are often paid poverty wages. Many need to rely on public assistance to survive, and many do not have health care benefits. Without meaningful federal investment, child care costs will continue to rise for families. Wages will remain unsustainably low for child care workers. This continues to be an untenable system that, as Ms. Matsui points out in her testimony, former Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen correctly identified as a textbook example of a broken market. And it's a system that cannot be remedied solely with a market solution. This issue is especially acute in Oregon, where hurdles are both supply and affordability. And I speak with Oregonians, often women, who are limited by the lack of access to childcare. I had a town hall meeting in Clatskanie. It's a very small rural town in Oregon, Head Start is the only childcare available in the entire city. And in rural areas like on the Oregon coast, lack of options for childcare limits economic growth. Families have to turn down jobs when they can't find or afford childcare. And I know that's the case in many places across the country. And some suggest that employers can step in and fill this gap. And I always look for creative ways to solve problems, but we have to be honest about the limits of this approach. Most business owners are focused on keeping their doors open and their workers employed in an increasingly unaffordable economy. I look forward to the testimony from the business owners here today. But oftentimes businesses are focused on navigating higher costs, supply chain disruptions, economic uncertainty. And again, though I appreciate the witnesses here today for their work and their efforts, expecting employers, especially small and mid-sized businesses, to take on all of childcare is not always realistic. Many business owners just don't have the bandwidth. Congress should not expect them to solve a nationwide childcare crisis. It is a public good. Again, infrastructure. Shifting responsibility away from policymakers and onto families and businesses doesn't remove the problem. It often pushes it to the people less able to bear the cost. And meanwhile, policies proposed by congressional Republicans and the actions of the Trump administration have contributed to making raising a child even further out of reach. Last week, the Trump administration released a proposed rule that rescinds a 2024 Child Care Development Fund policy that both capped the cost of child care and increased child care options for families. The families are continually being squeezed from all sides, and now some of the already limited federal support is again threatened. I also expect that today's discussion may touch on alleged fraud within the child care system. And let me say this, any instance of fraud is unacceptable and should be addressed. However, this administration is using alleged fraud as an excuse to abruptly yank funds from states, which affects all of the students and children involved, without thoroughly investigating situations. The solution is not to take child care resources away from working families. The solution is to get it right. What we could and should do is pass the Child Care for Working Families Act, which would cap costs for families, expand access to high-quality care, and invest in the child care workforce. If we're serious about supporting families, strengthening the workforce, and growing the economy, we must treat child care as the essential infrastructure it is. So I look forward to today's discussion and look forward to working towards solutions that meet the scale of this challenge. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.
Pursuant to Committee Rule 8C, all members who wish to insert written statements into the record may do so by submitting them to the committee clerk electronically in Microsoft Word format by 5 p.m. 14 days after this hearing, and without objection, the hearing record will remain open for 14 days to allow such statements and other extraneous material noted during the hearing to be submitted for the official hearing record. I will now introduce our witnesses. Our first witness is Mr. Hayden Faustino Hensley, the president and co-founder of Red Rooster Coffee Company from Floyd, Virginia. Our second witness is Ms. Alex Grover, the CEO at I2M from Mountaintop, Pennsylvania. Our third witness is Ms. Amy K. Matsui, the Vice President for Child Care and Income Security at the National Women's Law Center here in D.C. And our fourth witness is Ms. Mary Lou Burke-Afonso, the COO of Bright Horizons from Newton, Massachusetts. We thank the witnesses for being here today, and we look forward to your testimony. Pursuant to committee rules, I would ask you each limit your oral presentation to a 3-minute summary of your written statement. As committee members have many questions for you, the clock will count down from 3 minutes. However, pursuant to committee rule 8D and committee practice, we will not cut off your testimony until you reach the 5-minute mark. I would also like to remind the witnesses to be aware of your responsibility to provide accurate information to the subcommittee. I'll first recognize Mr. Faustino Hensley for your testimony.
Chairman Kiley, Ranking Member Bonamici, and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today on a subject that touches so many of us. I'd like to open by clarifying that I am not a child care policy expert. I'm a small business owner and the parent of 2 children. My wife, Rose, and I are the co-owners of Red Rooster Coffee in Floyd, Virginia, and I'm here to describe how we became, almost by accident, child care providers for our employees. In 2018, when we were expecting our second child, Rose and I realized that the fragile patchwork of babysitting that allowed us and our employees to work was close to breaking down. Floyd is extremely rural, and at the time, the only daycare had a long wait list and costs that approached nearly half some of our employees' annual wages. We had been paying family members to care for our son and our employees' kids in a small space inside our building. Faced with the reality that we had built an informal babysitting ring inside a manufacturing facility, we decided to become legal. We hired a director with experience in licensing, and within months we opened Yellow Hen Child Care. It started with 10 children and eventually served 24 at its peak, including our son and daughter. We initially set the price at $1 an hour because we believed childcare for our employees should not be cost prohibitive. This meant our coffee business subsidized the program at nearly $90,000 a year. It was financially difficult, but the impact was enormous. In our coffee roasting business, 14 of our current 24 employees have used Yellow Hen. Most of them have stayed with us for more than 5 years, many for more than a decade. In short, our on-site childcare program created loyalty, stability, and a deep sense of community. We also made it a priority to pay our childcare staff among the highest wages for providers in the county because caring for children is skilled, demanding work. As a result, most of our caregivers stayed for years, providing continuity and strong relationships for the families. As our workforce aged and our needs shifted, we have adapted. Yellow Hen now operates as an after-school, holiday, and summer program. In addition, we recently created a family financial assistance program that allows employees to receive either child care reimbursements or employer-funded college savings. I want to close with one personal story. India DePietro began working for us at age 15. At 21, she became a single mother and struggled deeply with the need to return to work and the difficulty of finding affordable care for her daughter. Yellow Hen made it possible for her to return to her job in our cafe while her child was professionally cared for only steps away. Today, she is 30 years old, owns 10% of our cafe, and is the managing partner in that company. Her daughter, now 9, still attends Yellow Hen every day after school, every school holiday, and during the summer months. That is what accessible childcare makes possible, not just for families, but for businesses, communities, and the American workforce. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll next recognize Ms. Grover for your testimony.
Shouldn't have been none, bitch.
Chairman Kiley, Ranking Member Bonamici, and members of the subcommittee. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Alex Grover, and I am CEO of I2M, a United States manufacturer headquartered in northeastern Pennsylvania. We manufacture and extrude flexible polymer films, largely for commercial and residential applications. We operate around the clock, and we compete.
There's that one. That's that one. And then there's that one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
I introduced the black father to this country. There never had been one in the whole of the country. And I risk my job by saying I won't do it unless you give me a husband for my children. I introduced the black father to this country.
Oh, pull your ass out there.
Yeah, cuz motherfucker done threw you down 8 flight of stairs. That motherfucker done threw your ass in the next week. You just got in there. That motherfucker threw you right back out, cuz. Call your mama. Shit, goddamn. Or go get you a scrap or something. Go get you a stick. Go get you an object. Cuz it's time. Hey, look. The motherfucker pick you up and throw you that far. That motherfucker close to God, cuz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I was just off in another world. I forgot I was streaming. Really doesn't matter, does it? Mm-mm. Because they're getting ready to end this. They're going to end the opportunity for people to come together and share like-minded ideals. It's getting ready to be over. And so you won't be able to join in anymore. And I think that's more or less people who have made it and people who understand what they're doing. Then, it's just real, right? But for people who have not made it, don't really understand that they can, benefit themselves. It's kind of like, whatever. It's real. Let me see. I got to get in here again. I got to go here. I just copy. If I copy, I should do it. It didn't come up. I might not be on air anymore because I can't get the bottom to come up. Let me see. Let me just play a song. So, let's see what's up. Oh, you're out already? Out and about. Yep. You okay?
My city on fire. I'm sorry I fight ya. I'm just trying to be better. Too cold for a sweater. Nah, there's no forever. We on the search for better. We on the search for better. We on the search for better. My city on fire. I'm sorry I fight ya. I'm just trying to be better. Too cold for a sweater. There's no forever. We on the search for better. We on the search for better. For better. I think they mad that I said something. Ugly nigga for ransom. But my brother's alright. I'm trying to be a provider. Where I'm from is alright. Safer to keep silent. It's hard for me to choose you. Scare my life would abuse you. My city on fire. I'm sorry I fight ya. I'm just trying to be better. Too cold for a sweater. There's no forever. We on the search for better. We on the search for better. For better.
And I can't wait to tell my mama that I made it. Man, I'm tired of the stressing and I'm tired of this fake shit. I see the vision, said there ain't no being lazy. Gotta wake up early morning, yeah, the money never waiting. My mama showed them different when you worry about your bitches. Stack your dreams, travel far forever, she mentions. I pray my love a better way in 7 days, cause the people in my city really steady, acting shady. R.I.P. dope boy, ain't get to make it through. Man, I'm truly scarred, why it had to be you. Do it on your own, now you have to lose your life. We were just finna make it out, see if that you catch a flight.
I'm sorry I fight ya. I'm just trying to be better. Too cold for a sweater. There's no forever. We on the search for better. We on the search for better. For better.
Keep it real, I don't know who to trust. They love you when you down, but they hate you when you up. How you my brother, but you stealing from me, blood. I just peep shit, now I gotta like a trust. Shit been welling on me, though for real. Ever since my brother died, mama said I need to chill. Baby, take your time, I promise you gotta heal. I just push her to the side, but I still feel it still. I've been hurting, broke past, got me spurging. Cool mask, I've been purging. Glizzy cock back, got my mind set on murder. Got my mind set on murder.
My city on fire. I'm sorry I fight ya. I'm just trying to be better. Too cold for a sweater. There's no forever. We on the search for better. We on the search for better. For better.
Not a whole lot.
What's Marcellus doing now that he got the house? What's staying in the fucking bed?
I don't know. We're going to go over there and find out. I'm going to get off my show right now. Signing off.